as we get our last of the 4-game homestand coming up tomorrow. We've played pretty well here at home. Hopefully we continue. What's our winning streak at right now at home? 18-game winning streak at home. So we've done a pretty good job protecting our home court here recently. I thought we made a huge jump in defense from games 2 to game 3, and we need to make another jump from 3 to 4. We've got a solid team in Mercer. They're probably better on their defensive end. They're forcing a lot of turnovers. We got on our offensive end. Our offense has been flowing pretty well, but we're going to have to do a really good job taking care of the ball. I think they're second in the country in turnover rate. So, they're turning people over. They take charges. They play hard. Coach Gary's done a really good job. I think this is his 5th year, if I'm correct. I think the first 3 years he set a school record for wins and total wins in first 3 seasons, and he's done a good job. I think he's got some solid guys in there that they can play, they can make shots. We're gonna have to make sure we, I thought we were much better against South, but South also didn't make us pay on some mistakes. Like they missed some shots. We can't think just because they shot so poor it was not like some of it was they just missed shots. So while we did play a lot harder and we were a lot better on defense, we gotta improve even more. Mercer's got some guys on their team that could make us pay if we screw up like we some of our mistakes we had against South Alabama. So we're just trying to get better, and then we got a week off between the Mercer game and our game down in Destin, and we got to get a lot better before we play down there right after Thanksgiving. So good stretch here coming up.
Is there a specific area defensively that you're looking to maybe make that jump from game 3 to game 4?
Yeah, I thought, we had an issue with blow-bys earlier. I think we've gotten better with that. Rim protection's been a big issue. We challenged the guys. I thought they came through. Pringle had 3 blocks, Grant had 3, Jaron had some blocks. Like we were getting some. Mo Wagies can really, block some shots and make some tough plays. So I think those guys have stepped up. Probably the next area is really just like with our switching. We do a lot of switching 1 through 4, sometimes 1 through 5. Can we get clean switches? Or how's our communication? Are we switching on ball, off ball? Like I thought we got some guys loose and have had some issues with it. So we just continue to make points of emphasis, really work on things, and overall get better. But we're also, I think we're giving up too many 3-point attempts, even though some teams haven't necessarily made us pay. I thought Indiana State did, but some of these teams haven't necessarily made us pay. But we can't. We'd rather just not for them to get the 3-point attempts up. I mean, if they are, they're highly contested and they're a poor shot. So got to do a better job running guys off the 3-point line and not letting teams get 3-point attempts up.
As you've challenged guys to play better on defense, have you seen them respond to that in practice?
Yeah, I think they're playing harder, better. I think they realize that, if we're going to win, we got to be serious about it. So it's been a lot better. The attention to detail has been better. As guys see playing time distributed accordingly, I think they're a lot more focused. So we've got a really good group of kids. Like whatever we ask them to do, they're going to do. But sometimes they got to see how it's really going to work in the games. They've been good. Our practices have been good.
Just talking to the guys, they said that they want to be a top 3 defensive team. Is that something you kind of talk about with them a lot, or that stat specifically kind of, because they both brought it up?
Yeah, what we've said is 2 out of the last 3 years we have been top 3 in the country in defense, and those 2 years, we were a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and we won the SEC regular season and SEC tournament. Then last year we were number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, won the SEC regular season, SEC tournament. So the years we have been top 3 in the country in defense, we've done a lot of big things. The year between when we were 92nd in the country in defense, we were still a good year for if we hadn't just had the year before. We were 6th seed in the NCAA tournament. Our offense was good. We had some really good wins. We just We didn't win the SEC regular season. We didn't win the tournament. We lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. When your defense isn't there, it's hard to, you're much more prime for upsets. You have poor shooting nights. You're not in the games. Like, I just think our guys understand that if we're going to do what we want to do as a team, we've got to be great on the defensive end of the floor. And I didn't think we were in the scrimmage, the exhibition of the first two games. I do think against South, we're looking a lot better, a lot more like what we want to be looking.
No offense to Mercer, but the talent level is going to grow in the next coming weeks. Just, is there a target date to when you want to kind of set your rotation, or is there an auditioning period almost to say?
Yeah, and that's actually a good question because, right after Mercer, we get, probably Ohio State, Oregon, possibly Santa Clara in there. And you're right, and the talent will get better. They're better teams. We have to be better. I don't – obviously by that game, there's a good chance it's a tight game for most of the 40 minutes, and you're going to play the guys that give you the best chance to win. So your rotation may have to get tightened by then. Now, if all 11 guys that are available to play are playing great, it may not get tightened by that point. But you've also got some guys have kind of separated themselves a little bit. Sears has proven it at this level. He's playing hard on defense. Estrada's playing really well, can be one of our best perimeter defenders. Grant's playing well. He's been a great defender. I think those guys kind of separate themselves a little bit, and then you got probably another tier of guys that are playing well and hard, and then some other guys are trying to get more minutes, break into a heavier part of the rotation, and by the time we get down to Destin after Thanksgiving, it may be trimmed a little bit tighter, but it may not either if everybody's playing well. It's just, but that's probably the next game where you're anticipating the entire 40 minutes is good chance it's extremely tight the whole way. Not that it couldn't against Mercer. Mercer's more than capable of coming out. If we give them a bunch of open threes and they hit them, we're in trouble. That's where we got to do a better job on defense, eliminating open threes.
Yeah, this year so far, it's only 3 games in, but third in adjusted offensive efficiency. For you having a team like that, what is that like for you? Because obviously your team's that's almost a reverse, because I think it's third in offensive and 22nd in defensive, which is almost a flip of where you guys finished last year. What is that like for you?
Yeah, we're making threes at a high clip. I don't think our 3-point percentage is sustainable. If we kept that up the whole year, we'd be the best shooting team in the history of the NCAA basketball, I believe. So I doubt that we're going to sustain that. But it's great that our offense is clicking. I think the ball's moving. We're getting assists. We've got some talent. So that's nice. Now it's extremely small sample size after 3 games. I'd like to get our defense up, and our offense is top 3. That's great. If our defense was top 3 as well, have the makes of a championship contender. I think there was only one team last year that was top 10 in both offense and defensive efficiency on KenPom. I believe that was UConn. They won the national championship. We've made that point to our guys. We're trying to be great on both sides of the ball. Our offense has always been pretty good. It's never been top 3 like our defense has 2 out of the last 3 years, but it's been, at least in the last 3 years, it's never been 92nd either, like our defense. So our defense has been a little more inconsistent, but when it's been great, it's been great. Our offense has been consistently good, but it'd be great if we could be top 10 in both, but we've got some work to do on the defensive end, and then offensively we're going to play a lot better defensive teams here coming up soon.
We heard from Luttrell earlier. Just what has he brought to the team, and maybe how has he adjusted to the system?
He brings toughness, shot making, gives you kind of a third handler. We like to play multiple guards. We put him and Sears and Estrada together some because they're all tough physical guards that can guard like that. But he gives you some depth in the backcourt where you can play him with the other 2. You can play him in the rotation with those other 2 guys. kind of 3-man rotation at those 2 guard spots. He can place them one. You know, we got to get him finishing better at the rim. That's the one area where he's not done as well as we need him to, but he's making shots at high clip, and he can really, really be a tough defender. He's tough, physical, gritty. You know, he's who we kind of want our blue collar basketball culture to be about. He's all about that. So, you know, anticipate getting a couple good years out of him with, he's got the chance to have some really, really good games with how well he shoots it. All right. Thanks. Good seeing you guys.